Most people believe betrayal announces itself. They think enemies snarl and traitors reveal their teeth. Machiavelli knew better. The most dangerous adversary never looks like an enemy. He looks like an ally who smiles too quickly, agrees too easily, and stands just close enough to learn your rhythm. Power is never taken by force first, it is taken by proximity. You live surrounded by false loyalty, not because people are evil, but because allegiance is conditional, always has been, always will be. The human animal aligns upward, not morally. People attach themselves to strength, momentum, and perceived advantage. When those things waver, so does loyalty. Machiavelli did not curse this reality, he exploited it. Here is the uncomfortable truth you are rarely told. You are being evaluated constantly. Your value is being measured in silence, and every alliance you believe is stable is being stress-tested in ways you cannot see. Fake allies do not betray you suddenly. They leak first. They hesitate. They subtly reposition themselves so that when the fall comes, they land safely away from you. Machiavelli's dark method was never about catching traitors after damage was done. It was about exposing them before they became dangerous, instantly, quietly, without confrontation. Because confrontation teaches your enemy, silence reveals him. Understand this. Loyalty is not proven through words, it is proven through discomfort, through risk, through moments where association with you becomes inconvenient. The mind reveals itself not when things are easy, but when alignment carries cost. This is not philosophy, this is biology. In every hierarchy, from wolves to kings, attachment flows toward perceived dominance. When dominance feels unstable, creatures hedge. They keep one foot in safety. Fake allies are not plotting constantly. They are waiting to see which way the wind turns, waiting to see if you remain worth the risk. The illusion you were taught is that trust is built through openness, that vulnerability creates closeness, and that honesty earns loyalty. Machiavelli would laugh at this naivety. Openness creates exposure, vulnerability invites inspection, and honesty, when unearned, gives ammunition to those who have not chosen a side. The dark method begins with restraint. You do not reveal more, you reveal less. You do not ask for loyalty, you create conditions where loyalty must choose you without being requested. This is where fake allies panic. Because they rely on access, they rely on information, they rely on reassurance. When reassurance disappears, their behavior changes. Watch closely. Humans cannot hide reactions to uncertainty. The nervous system betrays the mind. A true ally grows steadier when clarity fades. A false one becomes restless. They seek confirmation. They probe. They test boundaries under the disguise of concern. This is the first crack in the mask. Machiavelli understood that power is not asserted through dominance displays alone. It is asserted through selective withdrawal. When you pull back strategically, you reverse the polarity. Suddenly, others must reveal intent. Suddenly, they must act without guidance. And action exposes allegiance far faster than speech ever could. You see, fake allies depend on mirroring you. They watch what you say, how you react, where you lean, then align accordingly. Remove the signal and they malfunction. They either overstep or retreat. Both responses are diagnostic. This method feels cruel to those raised on modern illusions of mutual trust, but power does not operate on feelings, it operates on incentives, fear, and perception. Machiavelli was not interested in friendship, he was interested in survival at the top, and survival requires clarity. Now let's learn how to apply controlled uncertainty in a way that feels invisible, yet forces immediate psychological exposure. Not through threats, not through tests, but through absence, through silence, through a vacuum the wrong people cannot endure. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is pressure. When you remove signals, reassurance, and predictable access, the social environment does not become calm, it becomes revealing. This is where Machiavelli's method sharpens into a weapon. Most people believe silence creates distance. In reality, silence creates projection. The human mind cannot tolerate ambiguity when status is at stake. It fills the gap with fear, strategy, or desperation. Fake allies collapse under this condition. They are not loyal to you, they are loyal to their position near you. And position requires information. When information flow stops, they feel their footing slip. Their instincts activate. They begin to move. This is the second truth you must absorb. Real allies do not need constant calibration. They understand hierarchy intuitively. They wait, they observe, they remain composed because their allegiance is not transactional. Fake allies, however, feel entitled to access. When it disappears, they experience it as a threat. Watch what follows. Some will attempt to regain control by offering excessive support. Compliments increase. Agreement becomes louder. They try to reinsert themselves by appearing indispensable. This is not loyalty. This is anxiety disguised as devotion. Others will do the opposite. They pull away. They become colder. They stop initiating. This is not maturity. This is repositioning. They are hedging their bets, preparing to detach without consequence. Both behaviors are unconscious confessions. Machiavelli never relied on trust. He relied on pattern recognition. Humans are predictable when placed under the correct psychological strain. Remove certainty and character surfaces. The mask is maintained only when the environment allows it. Alter the environment and the mask cracks. You must understand why this works on a neurological level. The brain evolved to track hierarchy for survival. Access to leaders historically meant protection, resources, and mating opportunity. Losing access triggered danger. That ancient circuitry is still active. When someone fears losing proximity to you, their behavior accelerates. They cannot help it. This is why instant exposure is possible. You are not testing them. You are allowing their own biology to betray them. Notice how different this is from confrontation. Confrontation invites performance. Silence removes the stage. Without an audience, people revert to instinct, and instinct never lies. There is another layer most people miss. Fake allies often believe they are intelligent. They pride themselves on social skill. When you become unreadable, it injures their identity. They feel blind, and blind creatures panic. They ask questions that are not questions. They fish. They frame concern. They disguise self-interest as loyalty. This is where you learn the difference between someone aligned with your mission and someone aligned with your momentum. True allies align with direction. Fake allies aligned with speed. Slow down deliberately, and they expose themselves. This is why Machiavelli warned against transparency, not because secrecy is evil, but because clarity benefits the observer more than the observed. When you explain yourself, you give others a map. When you remain silent, they reveal how badly they need one. However, this method requires discipline. Weak minds misuse silence as avoidance. That is not power. Power is intentional absence.
You are present enough to be felt, but distant enough to be unpredictable. This balance unnerves those who rely on control through familiarity. Here is the danger. Once you see this pattern, you will never unsee it. You will notice how many people only appear when they need something, how many fade when you stop feeding them certainty. This knowledge can harden you if you are careless. Machiavelli did not advocate paranoia, he advocated precision. You do not cut people off impulsively. You observe, you catalog reactions, you allow time to reveal alignment. Because fake allies often reveal themselves not through betrayal, but through impatience. They cannot wait, they cannot sit in ambiguity, they cannot endure not knowing where they stand. And that impatience is the tell. Next, we will learn how to apply a subtle shift that forces fake allies to choose a side without realizing they are being tested. A move so quiet it feels passive, yet decisive enough to reorder your entire social field.
There is a moment in every power structure where movement matters more than words. Machiavelli built his method around this moment. He understood that the fastest way to expose a false ally is not to ask for loyalty, but to require alignment without announcement. This is where most fail. They think exposure requires pressure. It does not. It requires redirection. You change direction slightly, not dramatically, just enough to create friction, and then you watch who adjusts their stride. True allies do not question the turn. They may not understand it fully, but they sense intent. They trust trajectory over explanation. Fake allies, however, feel destabilized. Their attachment was not to you, but to the predictable benefits of your previous path. When the path shifts, the benefits become uncertain. Their support weakens. This is the third layer of Machiavelli's method: subtle divergence. You stop reinforcing shared assumptions. You no longer echo their language. You introduce a controlled deviation in belief, strategy, or tone. Nothing confrontational, nothing emotional, just enough difference to require a choice: alignment or distance. Humans reveal themselves when forced to adapt without instruction. Those who are truly aligned will adapt quietly. Those who are not will resist passively. They may mock the change. They may minimize it. They may frame your redirection as unnecessary or risky. This is not analysis. This is self-preservation. Understand the psychology beneath it. Fake allies rely on cognitive ease. They thrive when everything is familiar. They mirror you because mirroring reduces risk. When you stop being mirrorable, they lose their advantage, and instead of evolving, they attempt to pull you back into the old pattern. They will say you are overthinking. They will say nothing has changed. They will encourage comfort. Comfort is the language of those who fear movement. Machiavelli never trusted those who loved comfort. Comfort creates stagnation. Stagnation invites overthrow. This method is brutal in its efficiency because it exposes not only betrayal, but limitation. Some people are not enemies. They are simply incapable of following you where you are going. The danger is not their opposition. The danger is their drag. Powerful men fall not because of enemies ahead, but because of anchors behind. Here is the part that separates the strategist from the paranoid. You do not punish those who fall away. You let them go with grace. Silence again. Reaction teaches nothing. Detachment teaches everything. Those who were never aligned will disappear on their own when the cost of staying rises. And the cost must rise. Machiavelli understood that loyalty without cost is meaningless. Anyone can agree when agreement is free. The moment alignment requires effort, risk, or adaptation, the circle thins. This is not loss, this is refinement. Your presence should feel demanding without being aggressive. Purpose does that naturally.
When your direction sharpens, only those with compatible structure remain. Fake allies feel exposed because they are exposed, not by you, but by reality. There is a darker truth here. Some fake allies will not leave. They will attempt to sabotage the shift quietly. They will spread doubt. They will question you to others while smiling to your face. This is where Machiavelli's method deepens. You do not confront sabotage, you increase clarity. Saboteurs drown in clarity because it removes plausible deniability. The more precise your direction becomes, the harder it is to pretend support while undermining it. Precision is a blade. Next, we will learn how to create an environment where fake allies neutralize themselves, where their own need for safety forces them to expose their intentions publicly without accusation or conflict.
Power does not need to hunt. Power arranges the terrain so that weakness reveals itself. Machiavelli's most ruthless insight was this: you never need to expose fake allies directly. If you do, you give them a chance to adapt. You give them a chance to lie better. Instead, you design an environment where alignment is visible and misalignment becomes uncomfortable. This is environmental dominance. You begin by clarifying standards without debate, not rules, standards. Standards imply permanence, they imply hierarchy. You state what you tolerate through action, not explanation. What you reward, what you ignore, what you withdraw from. People learn faster from absence than from instruction. Fake allies live in the gray. They survive through ambiguity, mixed signals, and emotional fog. When standards sharpen, the fog lifts, and when the fog lifts, those hiding in it panic. Here is what happens next. True allies adjust internally. They self-correct. They align their behavior quietly because their identity is tied to the mission, not their ego. Fake allies, however, externalize discomfort. They complain about tone. They question fairness. They frame standards as rigidity. This is not principle. This is exposure. They are revealing that the environment no longer serves them. Machiavelli knew that public morality is often a weapon used by the weak against the strong. When someone suddenly becomes concerned with how things feel, look, or are perceived, it is often because the structure no longer protects their position. They appeal to ethics when leverage disappears. Do not argue ethics. Ethics are subjective. Structure is not. Another behavior emerges under this pressure. Fake allies seek coalitions. They whisper. They test others for shared doubt. This is instinctive. When individual leverage fails, they attempt collective leverage. Watch carefully who initiates these side conversations. Watch who suddenly speaks for everyone. They are not leaders. They are refugees looking for shelter. This is where most people make a fatal mistake. They react emotionally. They feel betrayed. They confront. And in doing so, they reveal insecurity. Machiavelli would consider this amateur behavior. You do nothing. You continue, calmly, predictably, with even more precision. The environment does the work for you. Those who cannot adapt self-select out or overplay their hand. Either outcome benefits you. Understand the inversion taking place. Fake allies believe they are observing you. In reality, they are being observed by their own reactions. They think they are managing perception. In truth, perception is managing them. This method feels cold to those addicted to validation, but validation is a currency fake allies trade in. When you stop paying it, they reveal how dependent they were on it. There is a final psychological tell that Machiavelli relied on heavily: time. True allies grow more consistent over time. Fake allies grow more performative. Their loyalty spikes when watched and fades when not.
They need acknowledgement, they need feedback, they need reassurance that their performance is working. Remove the feedback loop and they unravel. Silence, again, becomes the scalpel. You must be warned, this level of clarity will isolate you, not because you are wrong, but because you are no longer useful to everyone. Power attracts fewer people than potential, but those who remain are real. Most people surround themselves with noise and call it connection. You will surround yourself with alignment and call it structure. This is the cost of seeing clearly. Finally, you will learn how to consolidate this clarity into an inner circle that cannot be infiltrated by fake allegiance, not through trust, through design, through psychological filters so refined that betrayal becomes statistically unlikely.
By now, you understand the real objective was never exposure alone. Exposure is a side effect. The true aim is consolidation. Machiavelli did not merely remove fake allies, he engineered a circle where fake allies could not survive long enough to matter. This is the final inversion. You stop thinking in terms of trust altogether. Trust is emotional. Emotional systems are exploitable. Instead, you design proximity, you design access, you design cost. Inner circles are not built by invitation, they are built by filtration. The strongest filter is not secrecy, it is responsibility. You give weight without reassurance. You allow participation without protection. Those who belong will carry the weight without complaint. Those who were only present for advantage will falter under it. Responsibility terrifies fake allies because it removes their ability to hide behind intention. They must produce, they must commit, they must risk association with outcomes, not just proximity to power. This is why Machiavelli placed men in positions where failure was visible and success was shared. The loyal endure shared risk, the disloyal seek private safety. You do not micromanage this process, you observe. The mind under pressure reveals allegiance faster than interrogation ever could. There is a subtle psychological effect that now works in your favor. As your circle tightens, your silence grows heavier, your approval grows rarer. This increases your perceived value without effort. Scarcity is not manufactured, it is the natural result of selectivity. Fake allies hate scarcity. They feel entitled to access. When denied, they rationalize. When rationalization fails, they resent. Resentment leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to removal. All without confrontation. At this stage, betrayal becomes unlikely not because people are moral, but because the structure punishes misalignment instantly. The environment itself becomes hostile to deception. Those who remain internalize the standards. They police themselves. They protect the structure because it protects them. This is real power, when control no longer requires force. You will notice something unsettling as this takes hold. You will speak less, explain less, defend nothing, and yet your position will solidify. People will approach you differently, more carefully, more honestly, or not at all. That is the point. Machiavelli understood that fear is not created by aggression, it is created by inevitability. When people know that misalignment leads nowhere, they stop trying. When they know you cannot be manipulated emotionally, they stop testing you. You become expensive to deceive. There is one final warning. This knowledge will tempt you to see enemies everywhere. Resist that. Paranoia is weakness disguised as vigilance. The strategist does not suspect. He observes. He allows patterns to repeat until certainty replaces emotion. Fake allies expose themselves when you stop trying to be liked. Remember this, the moment you feel the urge to explain yourself, to reassure, to soften your stance, you are feeding the very people this method is designed to starve. Power does not seek comfort. Power creates clarity. You are not here to collect allies. You are here to build alignment. And alignment cannot be faked forever. If this way of thinking sharpened something in you, if it stripped illusions rather than offering comfort, then you already understand what this channel is for. This is not content for the many. It is instruction for those who intend to see clearly, move deliberately, and operate above the noise. Those who belong here do not hesitate. They align themselves and step inside.